Hi, this is John Gabriel, and if you need to lose 20, 40, 50, even 100 pounds or more, and you've tried and failed at dieting, it means that your fat switch has been activated, which means your body thinks it needs to hold on to this excess weight in order to keep you safe. Here's the problem. In your mind, you desperately want to be thin, and you try everything, diets, exercise, pills, even deprivation, but your body fights back with cravings that are out of control. It's as if your body wants to be fat. If you're experiencing this struggle now, the bad news is it just gets worse and worse. If you don't find a solution, unfortunately, you'll most likely continue to gain weight, and your health will decline each passing year. But here's the good news. There is a solution, and it's not like anything you've ever tried before. The approach you're about to learn is medically sound, scientifically backed, safe, and natural. This is the same approach I presented to the American Holistic Medical Association and the Australian Traditional Medical Society, and the same thing I taught in my best-selling book, The Gabriel Method. This approach is currently used by medical doctors, therapists, and weight loss coaches all over the world. And why is it so different? First and foremost, there are no extreme diets or hardcore gym workouts involved. Overeating is a symptom, not the cause of your weight gain, and the Gabriel Method focuses on bringing your body and mind back into balance. We treat the root causes of the problem, so your body is then able to reestablish a hormonal balance that helps you lose weight naturally and easily. With the Gabriel Method approach, weight loss becomes enjoyable, and the ultimate goal is to transform you into a naturally thin person, regardless of your age and regardless of your history and weight. Imagine for a moment, what if you never had good days or bad days ever again? What if you actually preferred healthy, real foods instead of sugary junk foods? What if you never suffered from cravings ever again? And what if you could solve your weight loss problems once and for all and be done with it? Here's the basic message that I have. You see, over 300,000 people worldwide have read my book, and it's been translated into 15 languages and is available in 60 countries. And thousands of people have had amazing life transformations. You can see the photos and watch the videos right here. I yo-yo dieted for over a decade, and when I moved to New York City in my early 30s, I started gaining weight slowly. Looking back, I can see that the stress of my Wall Street job, my abusive business partner, and the financial challenges of trying to make it in New York were the big triggers for my weight gain. But my attempts to fix my problem with diets actually made it worse. Like most people, I wasn't addressing the real causes. Stress caused me to gain weight, and then chronic dieting exacerbated the problem. It made it nearly impossible for me to lose weight, and eventually led me to become morbidly obese and weigh over 400 pounds. With each diet I went on, I'd lose 10 pounds and then gain 15 pounds. Lose 10 pounds and then gain 15 pounds. I didn't know it at the time, but after 10 years of biochemical research and working with clients for over 8 years, I now understand that not only does dieting not work, it actually makes your body want to be fatter. Here's how the vicious dieting cycle works. Dieting tricks your body into thinking you're in a famine state. Your biochemistry and your hormones become altered and you go into fat storage mode, just like an animal preparing to hibernate for winter. Fat, FAT, stands for famine and temperature. And when your fat programs are on, you crave food uncontrollably, well past your daily intake needs. Worse still, the more you diet, the more efficient your body becomes at storing fat, and the more difficult it becomes to lose weight. Most people, when they try to lose weight by dieting, they don't even ask the question, do I even have the ability to burn fat? And when your fat programs are on and you're dieting constantly, you end up losing the ability to burn fat. It's the ultimate catch-22. Dieting, by definition, actually makes you fatter, and everyone who has tried and failed to lose weight knows from first-hand experience. And for me personally, even the greatest, quote, gurus couldn't help me. First, I tried the Pritikin low-fat diet, and I went to the famous Pritikin Institute and worked with Nathan Pritikin's son for over a 2-week period. I spent $10,000 with him. And in the end, I lost a little bit of weight, but I couldn't take it anymore, all the low-fat, dieting, bland food, and I ended up gaining all that weight back plus. And then I worked with the late Dr. Atkins and did the low-carb, high-fat diet. He was living in New York at the time, and we used to meet every week. And I spent thousands and thousands of dollars with Dr. Atkins, and in the end, he just yelled at me for being so fat. Dr. Atkins was the leading authority at the time, and I was 100% committed. I believed this was the solution, so I dove in head first. There I was, weighing over 400 pounds, and suddenly now I'm hyper-vigilant about removing the buns from my burgers, rejecting anything with carbs, and eating eggs and chicken nonstop for what seemed like an eternity. It was really stressful at the time, but looking back, it's laughable the thought that simply eating low carbs is going to solve my problems, when I had so many other mental and emotional issues that weren't being addressed that was causing real tangible chemistry in my body. Chemistry that was causing my body to want to be fat. So there I am in his office, weighing over 400 pounds, and he's looking at my test scores, and I'm borderline type 2 diabetic, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, and he just looks up at me and goes, What are you doing? You're killing yourself. And I thought to myself, is that really the best you can do? You're Dr. Atkins. You've sold over 15 million copies of your book, and the best you can do is yell at me for being so fat? Like I'm going to lose weight because you're mad at me? I don't have enough motivation to lose weight? And quite frankly, that really did piss me off that he yelled at me, because I really, really was trying this low-carb thing. I was trying to diet, and it wasn't working. And I really felt like he didn't understand that. That was all the proof I needed to realize that most people teaching weight loss have no idea what's going on inside your body or inside your brain. And they clearly have no idea how to help people that are really struggling with weight issues. And what about exercise? Well, after failing with diets, one doctor convinced me that I should focus more on exercise. So I started going to the gym every day. I spent a full hour on the stationary bike pedaling my brains out. But all that exercise just seemed to make me hungrier. The machine told me I'd burned 800 calories, but as soon as I got home, I felt like I could eat an entire pizza, almost 3,600 calories. So what's the point? Now I understand what I was doing wrong. Recent research reveals that long, slow exercise sessions like the ones I was doing were counterproductive, leaving me worn out, exhausted, overtrained, and hungry. But at that time, I figured I just needed to go longer and harder. You may have experienced this yourself at some point. I've since learned that exercise done right is playful, brief, and simple. But done wrong, it can be a complete waste of time and extremely demoralizing when all that effort produces little or no results. I can't tell you how many of my friends and colleagues accused me of being weak and lazy or undisciplined, and even if they didn't say it out loud, you could see it in their eyes. In reality, nothing could be further from the truth. I was disciplined and committed to finding a solution, but nothing worked. The harsh reality is that diets and extreme exercise just don't work. 98% of the time, people gain all their lost weight or more. But it's not your fault. The basic premise of deprivation and restriction goes counter to your biology and almost ensures long-term failure. The reason why I say it's not your fault is that the information that you're getting is wrong. We're being told that you just need to eat less and exercise more, and that's just not the way the body works. It doesn't factor into the equation the incredible brilliance of your biological system and your survival mechanisms that cause you to gain weight. You need to learn how to work with those survival programs to get your body to actually want to be thin. Forcing yourself to lose weight just doesn't work. This is backward logic that so-called experts in their fad diets recommend. But the problem is that you can't control your cravings or the level of your hunger. Extreme hunger and junk food cravings are set off by a number of very specific triggers in our modern world. The silver lining here, though, is that once you find the real reasons why your body's holding on to weight and you address it and eliminate it, weight loss becomes easy, natural, and even enjoyable. All this makes a lot of sense when I explain it to people, but I often find that people need more help and more support implementing the principles that will help them turn off their fat programs. So let me ask you a question. Do you need more help and more support? Because if I had to tell you one secret to my success and many other people, it's support. The day I began my total mind and body transformation was the day I found a small group of people who understood these principles and knew how to support me. By not trying to fix my weight problems with math equations or kindergarten science, but instead by helping me look at my health holistically, as a whole person, so I could begin to reestablish emotional, hormonal, and biological balance forever. As you can imagine, at the time, it wasn't easy to find doctors, mentors, and coaches who understood these principles and who could really support me as a whole individual. But I have to tell you, I left no stone unturned in the process. I needed people who would treat me with respect and dignity, not like my earlier experiences where I was often dismissed as someone just weak and lazy with no willpower whatsoever. Even today, a decade after I began my transformation, support continues to be the key factor in my life.